Well, Eric Dickerson broke the news that the NFL allegedly told teams not to draft Sheduer Sanders because they were going to make an example out of him. I saw the news Thursday. You know, I could have made a video and reported on it Thursday and gave my thoughts and opinions on it. But I wanted to let a couple days pass, a few days pass to see if any more information was going to come out about this. Because Eric Dickerson said it. I seen the video where Eric Dickerson said the NFL told teams not to draft Sheduer because they were going to make an example out of him. And he said that a source told him, who he did not name the source, but was told by a source that he didn't name, that somebody called the Cleveland Browns and told them don't do that, to draft Sheduer. Now, there's a few questions surrounding that. You know what I'm saying? Out of all teams that could have used Sheduer, why did somebody call Cleveland and tell Cleveland that information, not to, you know, do that to Sheduer to draft him? Because there were teams that were much more needy for Sheduer at the quarterback position than the Cleveland Browns. Because remember, the Cleveland Browns had just took Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round. They had Joe Flacco. They had Kenny Pickett. So they already had kind of a loaded quarterback room, you know. So there was no need to draft Sheduer in Cleveland. But there were other teams that Sheduer would have fit much better than Cleveland. So I'm curious to know who was the source that said call Cleveland and told Cleveland don't do that, to go ahead and draft Sheduer. I'm not calling nobody out or saying nobody lying, but just something about the story, you know, ain't adding up. Because you had teams such as, for example, the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars got a new head coach. The head coach, Liam, he was the offensive coordinator in Tampa Bay last year. He worked with Baker Mayfield. We saw how Baker Mayfield worked with Dave Canales and Liam these past 2 seasons. So you look at a team like Jacksonville, who's paying Trevor Lawrence top 5 money, and he doesn't have a top 5 resume as a quarterback, but he's getting paid top 5 quarterback money. He may be in his last year at Jacksonville, depending on how he performed this season. So why wasn't a team like Jacksonville called that Sheduer would have had a better fit in than Cleveland? Because now you have a backup to Trevor Lawrence. Now you're putting pressure on Trevor Lawrence to see what he really made out of, to see if he really the guy moving forward for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Not only that, the Jacksonville Jaguars don't have a 1st round pick in this upcoming draft, because remember, they traded that to the Cleveland Browns to move up to draft Travis Hunter. So they're not going to be in position to get a quarterback this year in one of those 1st round quarterbacks. So why